Hello, it is spring here in Arlington, Virginia. It's June 2017, depending on when you're watching this, and it's a beautiful day. I am trying a new camera angle today, so bear with me. My kids told me this is the way to go, and I listened to them. Ironically, this week's blog is about parenting, and its title is Parents, Get Your Shit Together. And yeah, I'm talking to you. Get your shit together. I need to get my shit together. We need to all get our shit together as parents so that we can be better parents for our kids. I'm going to dive right into my blog post. Parenting is hard. Why? Well, there are plenty of reasons. Here are my top 3. Number 1, we aren't trained how to be parents. There is no degree that we need to get before we become a parent. There's no mandatory practicum to take after we become a parent, and there's no 1-800-HELP-ME-NOW line to call in the middle of any crisis or drama. We are just expected to know how to do it. We're thrown into it, and there are classes, but there's no requirement that we need to take to become parents. Number 2, parenting is glorified. So add to the fact that we don't know how to do it, we are given the message everywhere we look of how wonderful parenting is. You see posts on social media of parents running on the beach, smiling, laughing with their kids. Or you see a picture of a beautiful daughter dressed for a middle school dance or an elementary school graduation. What don't we see? Rarely do we see the post of the mom and daughter shopping for the dress and the drama that might include, or the tears when the boy doesn't invite her to the prom or whatever dance. We see the messages, parenting is great and yippee, and when we're having different experiences, that makes it really hard. Number 3 top reason why parenting is hard, our own shit. Our kids are like little heat-seeking missiles that can find whatever unresolved issues we have and dig them out for us to see. That's what this blog is about today. Number 3 reason. I want to highlight how our most important job as parents is to get our shit together, to work through our childhood issues, to look in the dark corners of our being so that when our 14-year-old is having her meltdown, we can be unreactive and parent-like. We don't need to make our 14-year-old's meltdown anything more than just our 14-year-old's meltdown, her experience here on earth. It doesn't have to do with us. Let's get our shit together. Let me be clear. On most days, my shit is far from together. That said, I do work on myself so that I can be my best me every single day. How do I do that? Well, I dig into those corners of my brain. When I react, when I judge, when I lose my temper, it's about me. I'm aware of that. It's not about my kids. Certainly, I need to check in to see if I'm taking care of my basic human needs. Am I getting the sleep that my body needs? Am I eating the food that my body needs? Am I exercising and moving my body? After that, though, it's time to get work on my insides and my dark places. This is what getting our shit together is all about. So how do you start? Start by slowing down. Slow down to notice which thoughts you're thinking. Slow down and notice what triggers you. Slow down and see who you judge, who you criticize. Start to notice when you yell and lose your temper with your child. What's going on? Notice. Become aware. When you feel annoyed with your child, ask yourself, what am I thinking to feel annoyed? When you feel frustrated, ask yourself, what am I thinking to feel frustrated? Remember the message from last week's blog. You can check it out on my YouTube channel if you want, if you missed it. But remember the message and slow down to discover which thoughts you're choosing to focus on. And remember the difference between a thought and a fact. Is it mandatory to dig into your dark places in order to be a parent? Hell no. Most don't. That's why we get a lot of repeating generational patterns. People who are saying, my God, I'm just like my mom. Ah! Like it just happens. Okay? Kid has a tantrum, parent yells. Kid pushes the limits, parent shames. Kid doesn't want to do what you want him or her to do, parents manipulate. Is it mandatory to dig into your dark places to be the best parent you can be? Yes. It is absolutely 100% totally and completely necessary. Am I clear? Just do it. Here are some questions that can start you on your path to dig into yourself. Grab a journal and start writing. Your answers will help you see where you have an opportunity for growth. Question number 1, how do I parent when I'm stressed? Question number 2, when I complain about my kids, what do I complain about? More questions. Complete this. I am afraid my child will grow up to be ... Or, I am afraid my child will grow up to be like ... And then answer the question, why does that make you afraid? Another question, how was parenting modeled for me? Another question, how do I usually react if my child reminds me of a parent or sibling I'm not so fond of? Why? And the bonus star question, what did I want from one of my parents that I didn't get? How is that impacting my parenting today? You get bonus stars when you answer that one. Answering even one of the questions I mentioned will move you on your path to more empowered parenting. When we can look at our parenting experiences and the relationships we have with our children from a spot of awareness, we act less reactively. We can see why their behavior is bothering us. We take ownership for what is going on in our head so that we can help them learn about what's going on in theirs. Sure, we'll still flip out and make mistakes. However, we'll do it less frequently and less extremely. Life will be calmer. Our relationships will improve when we realize that our reactions are because of our shit and our issues. Choose to take a step towards empowered parenting. Look inside to see why you're acting the way you're acting on the outside. The freedom I've discovered from managing my mind is why I do the work I do. Empowered parenting is best done when we parent ourselves first. Choose a question and dig in, please. I also ask if you're interested to please contact me. Back to my number 2 reason, we're not meant to do this alone. You're not trained on how to parent, and I can help. I've read a lot, I've done a lot. I'm by no means a parenting expert, but I do have some experience with my 3 boys and the groups of girls that I work with. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel somewhere below. It probably tells you how to do that so that you get alerted to the next fabulous blog post. Warrior Wednesday Wellness. I appreciate each and every one of you watching, and I encourage you to dig into these dark places and see where you can grow. Bright skies ahead. Bye.